Hello there guys, welcome back to another epic and executable maths video. In this video we're finding the moment generating function for a chi-squared random variable, and I've written down a collection of results that we're going to need in order to find it in this video. First thing to be said is the probability density function for a chi-squared random variable is a little bit complicated, and you supposedly could just do the integral and maybe you get an answer, but that's not the easiest way of doing it. And we're going to use some clever stuff that we've derived in previous videos. So for example, this result here is really nice. The moment generating function of a sum of independent random variables is the product of their moment generating functions. Super important. Down here, we've just reminded ourselves what a chi-squared random variable even is. So if x has a chi-squared distribution with k degrees of freedom, or just a parameter of k, then x is z1 squared plus z2 squared up to zk squared, where each z has a normal distribution, and it's actually a standard normal distribution. So it's the sum of squared standard normal distributions. That's what a chi-squared distribution actually is. And also we've got the Gaussian integral here. There's a lot going on. There's also, honestly a lot going on. This is the moment generating function for a standard normal distribution. We've got a lot happening, but let's go straight in and see what we can do. So we are trying to find the moment generating function of a bunch of squared standard normals added together. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to find the moment generating function of one squared normal distribution, and then I can use this result up here. So first of all, let's just find the moment generating function of a z squared as a function of t like this. What does this actually mean? Remember, this is the expectation of e to the power of t times z squared. That's all it is. That's the definition of a moment generating function. I've not written it down because hopefully by now you're pretty happy with that. Now, because a chi-squared distribution, or in fact z, which is a standard normal, because of that, the fact that it is continuous, we're going to do an integral to actually calculate it. So we're going to do the integral over the domain of a standard normal, which is minus infinity to infinity, of the function e to the t times z squared times the probability density function for a standard normal, which hopefully we know. I've not written it down. It's 1 over the square root of 2 pi times e to the power of minus z squared over 2. Okay, so this is how we calculate the expected value of e to the t z squared, where z has a standard normal distribution. Let's slightly simplify this integral. So let's rewrite the 1 over root 2 pi on the outside. Okay, and then we've got the integral from minus infinity to infinity. And then what I can do here is I've got e to the tz squared times e to the minus z squared over 2. That's e to the tz squared minus z squared over 2 dz. And I can rewrite this as 1 over the square root of 2 pi, integral from minus infinity to infinity of e to the power of, and then let's factor a z squared out. So z squared, and then I've got t minus a half here, dz. And one more thing I want to do is I also want to take a half out because I'm trying to make it match this integral here. So I'm going to go 1 over the square root of 2 pi, integral from minus infinity to infinity, and then I'm going to go e to the minus, and I'm going to go a half minus t z squared dz, just like that. Okay, so hopefully just a bit of manipulation there. That's all we have done. And we can now see that a here is just resembling a half minus t. So we can go straight in. We don't have to do a complicated integral here because it's just the Gaussian here. It's a famous integral, link in description to deriving it. This is just going to be equal to 1 over the square root of 2 pi, because that was already there, times the actual integral itself, which is going to be the square root of pi over, and a is acting as a half minus t, so a half minus t. And there's one condition. We know here that a has to be greater than 0, which means that at this point, in order to progress to the next step, we need a half minus t to be greater than 0. Or in other words, just by rearranging, t needs to be less than 1/2, otherwise it won't work. Okay, so as long as that's the case, we've got this. And then we can do some cancelling, right? So the square root of pi and the square root of pi are going to cancel out there. And we're going to have 1 over the square root of 2 times the square root of a half minus t. Now, since they're both square roots, I can multiply them together. I've got 1 over the square root of 2 times a half is 1. and then 2 times t is 2t, so a square root of 1 minus 2t there. Now that is for just one of them. That's just the moment generating function for a chi-squared distribution where k is just the number 1, very lonely. We want the sum of them. So they're all going to be identically distributed. So now I want to use this guy here that says, once again, the moment generating function of a sum of random variables, as long as they're independent, is the product of the moment generating functions. However, since they're all independent and identically distributed, this m sub xi of t, this function, is going to be the same thing again and again and again and again. It's just what we found here. So I'm just multiplying the same thing by itself n times. Okay. So really, if I want the moment generating function of the sum of the z, so I'll call it z1 squared plus z2 squared, all the way up to, let's say there are k of them, zk squared as a function of t, then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to multiply it by itself over and over and over again. I'm going to have a total of k of them here because I've got up to k. So I'm going to have 1 over the square root of 1 minus 2t to the power of k, just like that. And remember, I can do some index law stuff here as well, because 1 over the square root of 1 minus 2t is 1 minus 2t to the minus a half. So here I've got 1 minus 2t to the minus a half times k, so to the minus k over 2. And that's actually all there is to it. And the domain of this is when t is less than a half, okay, because of this condition that we needed in order for the integral to actually converge. So this here is our moment generating function for a chi-squared random variable. I'm just going to write that down for us. And there it is, the final result. So if x has a chi-squared distribution with k parameter, degrees of freedom, then the moment generating function is 1 minus 2t to the power of minus k over 2. And again, the domain for t is when t is less than 1/2. There we go, we've derived it. And don't you think it's really cool that we've managed to use the moment generating function to derive the moment generating function for a chi-squared random variable without knowing what the probability density function is for a chi-squared random variable? I've not written it anywhere on the board. We didn't do it at all. We never ever looked at the probability density function for a chi-squared random variable. I'm going to write it down just if you're curious, just so you can see it. So this here is the probability density function for the chi-squared random variable. So good luck integrating this, basically. So yeah, I mean, obviously we've basically dodged a bullet here, because imagine trying to integrate this function still multiplied by, of course, an extra, e to the power of t times the whatnot. So there's obviously a terrible integral on our hands here that we've totally dodged by using some really cool results, really nice things that the moment generating function does. But anyway, there's our moment generating function. If you enjoyed the video, obviously leave a like, leave a comment, all that stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. That's just another way to say that I'm the best math rapper in the game today. It might sound vain, but it's just how I feel. And baby, I'm just trying to keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. That's right, Gowan was in deep trouble with the law. He threatened government officials countless times and had been arrested even more. Was it them that got him? Was it someone else?